These days, the Roosters are the gold standard, a club that expects to be in the hunt for a premiership every single year. But before the Trent Robinson era, the Roosters were a club in total freefall. 2009 wasn't just a bad season, it was an embarrassment. Last on the ladder, trapped in a cycle of off-field scandals. They were by far the worst team in the NRL, but 2010 was different. Led by a proven coach, the Tricolours pulled off one of the more unlikely revivals.
It's come down to Graham, back to the middle, it's found Minicello.
To understand the miracle of 2010, we have to dive into the disaster of the 2009 season.
There they are at the bottom of the table. It has been a disappointing season by any measure.
It wasn't just the fact that they finished last, it was the way it happened.
We were all young kids, a lot of us. So Mitch Orbison was there, Jake Friend, Sean Kenny Dow. You know, I know I can put my hand up. It was a loose year. The devil came knocking.
We had heaps of indiscrepancies, and I think just different players didn't know how to handle that environment. You know, they got the only thing got in common is like, oh, we're single and it's got some free time. So
go for a beer.
Go for a beer.
As the game grew bigger with massive TV deals, the NRL started demanding actual professionalism. Freddie was only just a few years out of retirement when he began coaching the Roosters. And although he found some success in his first 2 years, he was still ultimately very inexperienced. And it began raising some eyebrows when he introduced a no-alcohol policy in a bid to control his players' off-field behaviour. And in the end, it wasn't just the players getting themselves into trouble.
The NRL has been rocked by another scandal. Brad Fittler has fined himself $10,000 after a drunken incident in North Queensland.
Major sponsors began pulling the plug, and there were bizarre on-field decisions like removing the captaincy from Craig Fitzgibbon and moving Braithen Astor to fullback. At that point, the writing was on the wall. Everyone knew a massive cleanup was coming.
Can you tell us when and how you learnt your fate for next season?
Steve Noyce told me yesterday about lunchtime. It's been a tough year, so I was under no illusions that this job's forever, and just looking forward to finishing off the rest of the year in a good manner.
The board turned to Brian Smith. Smith was widely regarded as one of the best tactical coaches in the NRL, but his first recruitment play brought a lot of question marks.
Todd Carney's unveiling as a Rooster marks the start of a long journey, from troublemaker back to playmaker.
Hopefully I can fit in the team somewhere as a playmaker, but I think I played the other day. If I had to play front row, I would. So just excited to be back in the NRL and at the Roosters.
It was only a matter of weeks until Carney had his first slip-up.
I had an incident with a mate in Early Beach, and then Smithy called me in and said, like, that's it. Like, I'm not accepting no for an answer. You're not drinking this year. To yell it to the club and the board for obviously, one, getting you here and making it possible for you to be at the Roosters. And then for himself, and he goes, and he said it to me, yell it to yourself, like, you need to have a crack, and it's going to be hard.
This marked the beginning of an overall shift in the team's culture.
A lot of the boys probably learned our lessons from the year before, 9, and everyone was just really focused, really committed to getting success.
Like, I changed my diet. At that stage, Minnie was going through his diet with no carbs and the raw milk and stuff like that, and we all bought into it.
When all the boys sort of went off the piss, like, it's amazing what you can do, right?
Yeah. Sydney versus Eastern Suburbs. And there he is, Todd Carney. He's back to rugby league for the first time since July 08. Now Carney wants to be involved. He's through the gap, Carney. He's got support left and right. He decides to take on Wesser. Wesser wins the battle. Looking to walk. Here's Orbison now. He's able to get a ball away to Sam Parrott. And Parrott's got one to beat. Reece Wesser gets it in to Mitchell Pearce. Here's another 6 points coming for the Sydney Roosters. 26-6. Then it's been batted back by Miles. He plays on every play, doesn't he? He keeps playing. And here's Mitchell Pearce. Here's down the right side. Turns Melton inside out. Gets it away to Orbison. Mitchell Orbison has scored. Carney, bullet-like pass. Graham raked in by Minicello to score. Career try 90. The Roosters, 2 wins in weeks 1 and 2.
Smithy had different approaches to footy, a very, very smart footy brain. Attack-wise, I learned a lot of eyes-up footy and playing what you see, your skill, your catch pass. He was very, very good at that sort of stuff.
You just got to get that feel today. That's your job. Just trust your instincts there, mate. Yeah, that's why you're here playing at this level, because you're good at that stuff.
Despite the Roosters' early season success, they struggled to stay consistent week to week.
Stick to plan A here. Let's not go trying to do anything outside our plan A. And remember, going to plan Z makes it worse.
Look at this from the Sharkies. Open space, still going. What a try that is.
There's no doubt that the Roosters have looked dangerous at times tonight, but you can't rely on that to win you a football game. They just haven't been good enough up the middle tonight.
We're just a bit flat tonight. There's no excuses, but we can't be winning a game and then the next week losing. We need to get some consistency.
It wasn't until the back end of the year that combinations started to click, and they found some attacking form with some impressive come-from-behind victories.
Now the playmakers, Pearce and Carney. Carney drifting and Mitchell Orbison, he's over! Momentum has taken him over! He points to the spot, and the Roosters go up! They go up with 4 points!
That shows how tight we are at the moment. That was pretty courageous, that comeback then, and that's the first time we put 2 wins together since the start of the year, and against South's no better.
Minicello for Carney, to the middle to Pearce, to the other side of the ground to Nuisala, inside the 20 for Kenny Dow. He runs back along the 20, thinks about a kick, gives it to Pearce. They're going back to the other side. Here's Carney, Orbison, Mitchell Orbison has scored. Now have a look at this. You saw the agony, now the ecstasy.
We're on a run. We're confident. Confidence is king too. Your body's moving. There's at every game that you play, you think you can win because you believe in the guys around you. So when you're in that sort of frame of mind and you're in that type of form, you often look at the players off the ball and they're always moving.
Probably best attacking team I think the Roosters have had.
Stopped at a terrific tackle by the fullback. Friend gives it to Carney, running at them again. He's got support. Minicello, got a ball. Kenny Dow, short Kenny Dow with number 4. And he puts the Roosters back in the lead.
Nalaval sweeps it. Hodkinson, a little kick. Oh, Carney. Lovely hand. Lovely anticipation, and then a run. They've opened them up down the other side with an overlap, and Kenny Dow goes through a gap, gets the ball away. Sam Parrott's flying down the right side. Maddow can't get in, neither can Farah. Parrott will score. It's almost 100 metres.
What a game. What a game. And look at the Roosters fans. When you looked at the premiership table this week and saw the Roosters in 4th position, last year wooden spooners, earlier this year thrashed by a lot of lowly sides, and you thought, how the hell are they in the top 4? Well, today you might be getting evidence why.
The Roosters' form culminated in one of the most memorable games from that era, the 2010 qualifying final against the West Tigers.
It was an epic game to be a part of. If we lost that game, we're out.
The red, white and blue army, I've got to tell you, they've been outnumbered very much by the black and gold. Robbie Farah brings out the Tigers. They too a much stronger side. To the middle of the park, it's Marshall showing it out to Louis, on to Ashford. Surely. Takiri has scored another try at the Sydney Football Stadium.
Tigers had us, mate. We were gone a number of times.
From Louis, back through Payton, back to Marshall. Second man for Brown. Floats it out for Bo Ryan. He's over. Bo Ryan has scored for the West Tigers.
They had the ball, and Benji got up to play it, and he's thrown a punch at Pearcey, which you wouldn't think, right?
And then he throws a punch. There's something there. I think this will be coming back.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right because.
And that was against the run of play, and then we just bang.
Gibbs, who's back out there. Carney again for himself. He's got the ball back. He passes, and Astor scores.
Just gone inside Lottie Takiri on this side. Is again up the middle.
Here goes Todd Carney.
Pearce.
Got support. Mitchell Pearce. He has scored. Mitchell Pearce. He has put it down behind the uprights.
They're getting tired, the Tigers.
With 1 minute left on the clock, one of the most chaotic finishes began to unfold.
There's a try in them.
30 metres out from the line. And a strong...
and hammered. And lost it.
He has been hit by Simon Dwyer.
Penalty there, we win the game right in front of the sticks. They don't blow it. We thought we'd been dudded, right?
This semi-final. Whoa! How good's that?
Then the scrum forms.
Wairia. Oh, they've got the ball!
Unbelievable!
Nuasala has fallen on the ball!
Which was astounding in itself how that was allowed to play on. I'm thinking I have to take the shot.
On the 30-metre line, they've got to take it. They've got to take it soon. Pearce to the 30. They run for a try now. It's come down to Graham. Back to the middle. It's found Minicello. A long-range shot from Anasta.
He's got it!
Oh, what a kick!
He got
it! Kick! Anasta has nailed it. Brave Anasta has kicked the drop goal.
What a
finish! It is level.
That is sensational.
It was one of those moments, it was such a surreal moment that as soon as I hit it though, it was never missing. Like I didn't even look. I hit it and I went, that's over, and just started running like a fucking lunatic. This is a moment that you dream of since the second you pick up a footy, and then you just get this moment where it's like, fuck, I just did it.
This is stupendous. This has almost become indescribable.
It wasn't until the 99th minute that the game was finally won.
Payton does the same for Fulton. Intercepted by Kenny Dow. Gibbs is after him. Fulton's after him. They are not going to get him, although here's Simon Dwyer late. Takiri late, but it's Kenny Dow. Kenny Dow has scored his 21st try of the season to win in extra time. The Roosters have won it.
The Roosters carried the momentum from the Tigers game throughout the rest of the final series, convincingly beating Penrith and the Gold Coast to make the grand final.
It's a great feeling. The guys that we got here is a great bunch of guys, and it's a great game tonight. We're building into something special. We believe that we can win the comp.
Just 3 more sleeps now until the grand final. The Roosters, meanwhile, are itching to complete their fairytale climb from wooden spooners to premiers.
From their faces, it seems the Dragons and Roosters think Sunday can't come soon enough. Brian Smith's coached in 3 grand finals and never won. He's lost twice to Wayne Bennett, so he's taking no chances.
I think the good thing about us is we don't even know what to expect.
We kind of had this dream run. Dragons at that time were the Melbourne Storm. When Wayne Bennett was there, their defence was the best in the comp. They were the team, the hardest side for probably 3 years. It sounds weird, but we're kind of proud to be there.
We're probably just too happy to be there. Yeah. We'd probably overachieved that year.
And the Dragons win the grand final, 32-8. Their first since 1979.
We knew that they were sort of waiting for us to make a mistake because we were playing really well. We thought we were dominating for the first half, and then sure enough we made an early mistake and they made us pay.
The Roosters struggled to fire for the next 2 seasons, and it became evident it wasn't a player problem this time around.
I actually rate Brian as one of the best coaches, if not the best strategist, or in terms of rugby league DNA. He was incredible, but he had parts that, as a captain playing underneath him and his relationship with the players, I'd go to him and say, mate, you got to stop doing this, or I think you should handle this player different to that player. And
I remember played City Country, right, 2003. He was the coach. Didn't say one word to me. At training, nothing. Just not like fucking, hey, well, congratulations, anything like that. I was just like, fuck, this guy hates me with a passion. And then when he got to the Roosters, no hard feelings against him. That was just the way he feels. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not going to cop that.
He's got this ability to get people to buy in and to analyse, micro-analyse in terms of pick up little body positions and structures and plays. And then he's got this other ability where he'll be ringing people and want to turn up and look at their fridge and see what's in there and just play these mind games.
And unfortunately, Brian Smith couldn't change that.
Yeah.
And in the end, it was his undoing, right?
Brian Smith's departure from the Roosters came swiftly and suddenly and was greeted by a wall of silence from the players.
I can't comment, man. Sorry. You've been given directions from the club not to talk? Yeah.
Can you tell us why they don't want a senior player like yourself commenting on the sacking of Brian Smith?
Sorry, boys.
There were plenty of names bandied around when Brian Smith was shown the door. Trent Robinson wasn't among them, but there's no shortage of confidence in the man set to take over the reins.
Despite Smith's coaching methods wearing thin, he ended up leaving the roster in a great position. Full of elite junior talent, the keys were handed to Trent Robinson. They were a team ready for success.